Welcome back, Noodle Squad. This is season 2, episode 1 of my podcast, Noodle On with Noel. It has been quite a long time. I think it's been since May since I've last podcasted. And the reason that is because, actually, I know it's been since May. The reason that is, I was never planning on having like a season 2. I was just planning on just continuing once a week podcast. But as Lake Placid, I'm wearing the medal right now. As Ironman Lake Placid drew closer, I kind of switched off of everything that I was doing for some reason. Like it got harder and harder to you know, do good at social media, podcast, and I just kind of forgot about everything and just kind of put all my attention towards Lake Placid. Was that worth it? I don't think so because I'll get into that. I'll explain why. But yeah, I've been thinking and like every day I was like, I want to talk about that on the podcast. I want to talk about that on the podcast. I want to talk about that. Blah blah blah. And I just never got down here to do it. And I'm like, what have I done? I built this whole podcast and haven't been using it. And so now we're using it and we are back and we're using it. This is season 2, episode 1. And I'm so excited to explain what's been going on. The first half of this podcast is me recapping Ironman Lake Placid. And I will put this recap part on my YouTube channel also so you can watch it. And then the second half is a few days ago, I asked for if I was your coach, because I'm a coach. I asked if I was your coach, what would be the first thing you asked me? What would be the first thing you want to know from me? And I got a lot of great responses. So the second half of this podcast is going to be me answering those questions. Okay, but first I wanted to get into Lake Placid. Ironman Lake Placid just happened. It was my 13th full Ironman, and I got a ton of questions of what happened and like how did I do, and I did finish, but I wanted to get into like a little bit of a race recap because I don't know how long a lot of my listeners have been into triathlon or have been following me, but back in the day, people used to do blog posts for their race recaps. Then it kind of got into YouTube. People would YouTube their race recaps. I used to do that too. But now we are moving into the future, podcasting a race recap. Because I do have a lot to say about this race that I hope people who've been following my journey will resonate with and understand about kind of what happened out there. So let's get into it. Ironman Lake Placid was this last Sunday. It was a very, very wet day. It rained, I would say 85% of the race. When I was out on the course, it was raining. So, and I will say a lot of people welcomed it. A lot of people thrive in the cooler weather it brought. For me, was the exact opposite. Rain is my kryptonite. I can't bike very well on it. It's extremely hard to bike well in it. I couldn't see every time it was raining, I couldn't see. My visor just didn't work. So I was kind of biking blind for 50% of the bike because it was weird. So Lake Placid is a 2-loop bike course, and on the one half, you're pretty much descending like 10 miles. And on the other half, you're biking uphill 10 miles. More than that. But it's basically like a descent is one half of the bike course and an uphill is the other half. And you do that twice. So you're basically, for some reason, thank goodness, for some reason, the rain never hit me on the descents. It only hit me going up. Because if it was on the descents, I would have been even worse than I already was. Okay, but I want to start out with the swim, Ironman Lake Placid swim. Let's start from the beginning. The porta potty situation in the morning was abysmal. Okay, there was so I'm looking at the time. And, I have to use the bathroom bad, like really bad, because it's race morning, it's race nerves, and I've already gone twice, but I normally have to go 4 times before a race or a big workout. And I've only gone twice. I have to do 2 more times. Well, 2 more times wasn't going to happen because of the line. I'm saying this line for how many people, it's a sold out race, right? This is a sold out race. And I take into consideration when I review races of how good the porta potties were, or not how good they were, how many there were. There were not enough, not near enough. It was 12. It must have been maybe at the swim start, maybe maybe like 15 porta potties for 2,000 people. Everyone needs to use it. And the line, I was looking like the age groupers, my wave where I wanted to start was starting at 6:30 a.m. And at 6 a.m., I was like, this is going to take forever. This is going to take so long, the line to get into these porta potties. I'm not going to be able to start on time. That's kind of already you're like off the bat a little shaken up I was already a little like, God damn it. Like, damn it. Of course that happens. And there's this hotel. There's a clip of me complaining about the hotel, not because I don't like the Crown Plaza. That's where I stayed. But there's this hotel right across from the swim start, literally right across from the swim start. You can see it. And I was like, we should have stayed there because you could literally just be in your room all morning until the swim start. And yeah, that sucked. That sucked. I ended up having to have my mom, thank God I have a Sherpa. Thank God we had someone. I had her go down to a different porta potty line and wait there. And I said, call me if you're getting closer. I said, call me if you're getting closer. And I'm glad I had that happen because I basically used the bathroom with less than 10 minutes to spare. So I had it was like 6:20 when I finally got done with the bathroom and had to run back up the hill and get my wetsuit on, get my goggles on, put Vaseline on, get all suited up, and then make my way to the swim start within 10 minutes. And I got it. It was done. It was just super stressful and not needed. It's totally avoidable if I had a better stomach or if there were more porta potties. Or if we stayed at that hotel that's right across the street. I'm 95% certain that hotel is already booked up though. So for next year, because it's like a hot commodity. Like we were looking at people getting ready for the race in their balconies. And we're like, oh, why couldn't we stay there? All right. So the swim, I was shocked. I was expecting to swim way faster. I swim a 54 something. This is my first Ironman, real Ironman that I've been trained for and ready to go since 2023. I did Kona last year, but that wasn't really anything to write home about. I'm glad I finished it, but it was awful. But this is the one I've lost weight. I was ready to go, was fired up, and 54 was definitely on the slower end than I thought I would swim. But I have a story for the swim, the absolute worst sportsmanship I have ever seen in 10 years of triathlon, the worst sportsmanship ever. I was swimming next to there's this line. Lake Placid swim is famous for how it has this line under the water. It's basically like a lap lane. You can swim basically over it and you don't have to ever sight because you have a line to follow. And so I was following it. Towards the end of the first lap, I kind of, it's a triathlon. They say the most cliche, they always say this, triathlon is not a contact sport unless you're in the swim. Then it is a contact sport. But, we're all respectful. I think it's a swim in an Ironman. It's not going to we're age groupers. It's not going to, a 30-second difference is not going to make or break your entire day. But this guy, so I was swimming in a line, holding my line, swimming right next to this guy who was right next to me, and we were swimming kind of side by side. I didn't think it was that big a deal, but he must have, because out of nowhere, this guy grabs my right shoulder. So we're swimming, grabs my right shoulder and pulls me under and back. He's a big guy because I remember looking at him after he did that. He's a big guy. He pulled me under and back super intentionally. And I kind of was taken aback. I was like, what? But he swam in front of me. So he did that and he pulled himself in front of me. And so now we're swimming like this, right? So if you're on the YouTube video, you can see my hand motions. If you're on the podcast, he's basically swimming right in front of me now. He basically used me as like leverage to get up. And I started swimming, and this is a very normal thing. I started hitting his feet in front of me because when you're trying to swim on people's feet, you literally are technically supposed to kind of hit their feet every now and then, not every stroke. But I must have hit his feet, I don't know, twice since he just pulled in front of me. And this motherfucker stops. He turns around, splashes water at me. He made sure I stopped too. And he punches me. But like we're treading water, so it wasn't like a full force punch. We're in the middle of a race. There's people swimming all around us. And like, he probably didn't have good leverage to like actually throw a real punch, but he hit me in the goggles and it was supposed to be intentional. He definitely tried to hit me harder. And I stopped, started treading water, and after he threw the punch, he immediately turned around and started swimming again. I caught him. And this is all within the last half of the first lap. We still have to swim around again. I caught him, and this time went way around him. And anyways, I finished this. I kind of kept an eye out the second lap to keep a corner. I kind of kept him in the corner of my eye, like the second lap, to make sure I wasn't getting too close. Because first of all, I wasn't trying to get into a fist fight. And also, I will 100% name and shame this person. You can't do that, buddy. You can't drown someone or punch them because you're getting your ass kicked. And I'm 99% certain this was a pro. I might not be a pro, but I'm going to look up the swim times and see who was finishing around me because I know what he looks like. I know exactly what he looks like. We were in the T2 together because we basically swam the same time. I just have never seen anything like it. I was completely taken aback, shocked, appalled. How can you? You're clearly like experienced. You would think you'd be experienced. He was swimming a good Ironman swim time, and he seemed like he knew what he was doing. So this isn't like something new to you. Like maybe if you've never done a triathlon, you'd be shocked someone's swimming so close to you, but that's not how this works. If you've done an Ironman, you know that's like very normal. You can't punch someone for swimming on your feet, If I see him, I might name and shame him. I will absolutely name and shame him because you can't do that. That was a swim. It was pretty, that little spat, that little fight right there before the second lap kind of really spiked my heart rate. I was more just kind of shocked, like what the fuck just happened? I can't believe you just did that. Or like why are you even so angry at someone swimming next to you? So yeah, that was the first lap. The second lap I swam good, decent. Yeah, so I never, in my Ironmans nowadays, I do not use a watch. Well, I don't look at my swim time. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Because I'm going to swim as what I can swim. And to look at your watch like halfway through the swim just slows you down. There's no point. And I actually think nowadays, I think pros aren't even allowed to use watches anymore in the swim. But you don't need it. It's not worth it. There's no point, Swim to what you can swim. So then, I did the swim. Ran to the bike. It was a long run from the swim to the bike, and it was down kind of a concrete. Well, you're on carpet, but it was down kind of it's a long way, but oh my gosh, the cheers, the absolute cheers and the momentum and hype. I heard my name everywhere. I saw my parents. I saw people who I don't know who were cheering my name. It was just amazing. It's like the loudest wall of people from the swim to the bike. It's amazing. It's amazing. This is why I was like, I missed racing so much. This is so fun. Like, this is so fun. Like, this is epic. This is like what I live for. We got to T1 and, I'm sitting on the bench or the chair putting on my helmet because we weren't allowed to clip in our shoes. I don't know why we weren't allowed to clip in our shoes. So you had to put on your shoes and your helmet. But anyways, I saw the guy who just punched me. He did not recognize. I don't think he recognized me because I look a lot different with, my hair's out now. Goggles and swim caps are off. But I recognized him. I saw that guy. I was like, I was focusing on myself, but I wanted to scream. Like, I wanted to scream, like, hey, buddy, you can't do that. You can't drown people because you're getting your ass kicked. It's one of those things where you think of something in hindsight, you're like, oh, I should have said that. Like, you have an argument with someone, but then later in the shower, you're like, oh, I should have said that. That's exactly how this feels, because I wanted to say something because, next time this guy's in a race, he will absolutely drown someone. He might hurt someone because they're swimming in his little bubble. You don't get a bubble, bro. You don't get one. Not in triathlon. Anyways, so I'm on the bike. I was super worried about one of my biggest fears is worried about being cold, because I was scared because the first little bit, we're soaking wet from the swim, and then you get on the bike, and the first little bit is a really steep downhill, and I thought I would be freezing. I wasn't cold at all. Not could care less. Cold wasn't even in my mind. It was about not crashing. It was about keeping my bottles on the bike and getting this bike done. And oh my gosh, the bike. I knew the bike would be hard. I was in Lake Placid 2 weeks before the race to ride the course. And I've done the bike course before. I've ridden Lake Placid bike course multiple times, and I knew it would be hard. But it's it wasn't hard. I kept my heart rate under control. My whole goal was to keep my heart rate under 140. And I definitely envisioned doing that, but a lot faster. I thought I would easily be under 5 hours, and I wasn't even close. The rain definitely had a big factor, but still, even if it didn't rain, I don't think I would have broken 5 hours, which is really kind of frustrating. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I have the fitness to do that. I do not. This is something about the bike that's very frustrating. I do not get how it is possible for people to bike 410s on that course. What are you guys doing? I mean, you're obviously pushing a way bigger gear. You're pushing way bigger watts, but still, it's half the time. Are they going 25 miles an hour up the climbs? Or are they going way, way faster down the climbs or down the hills than I am, obviously? Okay, so that one makes sense. Okay, I'm going 42 miles an hour down the climb. They're going 52 miles an hour down the descents. That makes sense. Okay, they're going 10 miles an hour faster than me. But on the uphills, I don't know. I don't get it. And it's really frustrating. I don't think I'm not going to bike a 410, but it's how do you guys do that on that course? What am I doing wrong? I don't get it. It was so slow. And the first lap was fun, but as someone who's a good swimmer, a decent swimmer, I expected it to be a little bit like this, but not like I was getting passed quite a bit on the bike. And in an Ironman, you can only do what you can do. You can't base your race off someone else. If someone's going flying by me in an Ironman, I can't just try to hold on. I mean, I can try to hold on to them as much as I can, but, everyone has to run their own race because it's still a long day. And that's a very, very, very important lesson to remember. A lot of people learn it the hard way. I'm going to go with this guy. And then, 10 miles into it, you're absolutely dying and blowing up because you biked way over what you are supposed to bike. And I don't know, it just seemed like I was getting passed a lot, and I was still moving decently. And I'm like, why am I getting passed? And I'm moving, going 26 miles an hour. It's just, I don't know. It just reminded me I got a lot to work on. It just reminded me kind of what's up. And I haven't done this in a while. And the whole day was a big constant reminder of I haven't done this in a while. So just give yourself grace because, it's also a lot longer than I remember. I know it's 112 miles, but, you still almost have an hour left at mile 90, and you've been on the bike for 90 miles. You've been going since 6:30 a.m., and it's now past noon. So it's just a really, really, it's a long way. There wasn't really much to report, though. I survived the bike slowly. It was a 5:20, 5:15, or even slower, 5:21, with a goal with sub 5 hours, and I'm already 20 minutes slower than I thought on the bike. And also, I'm already 4 minutes slower than I thought on the swim, which I didn't know at the time. So the day's going, not I but, I always knew that my Lake Placid bike wasn't gonna be super strong or fast. I just knew it. It's a very hard course. It's not suited for me. I don't know how to descend well. I don't know how to climb well. Um, but I knew that if I got to the run feeling fresh, I would have a really good marathon. I've been so confident in my run. If you've been following my Strava and stuff and all my runs, I've been doing long runs at a decent pace to kind of get that nailed into my system. And I did it. I got to the run at no crashes, no nothing. Had kind of a long transition, but I got to the run. I was feeling good, ready to run. Here's the thing though. Um, um, a marathon is a long way, and I definitely overestimated myself. I was doing so good. I felt really good. And that's the thing with Ironman. You can feel amazing until you don't. And then when you start not feeling amazing, like it can get really bad fast. And let me explain why. So I got to the run, I survived the bike, I felt amazing. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm at the run. No flat tires, no crashes." You know, once you the bike the thing with the bike is a lot of stuff is out of your control. So it's kind of stressful because you can get a flat tire, someone can crash into you, you can crash. Like there's a lot of stuff out of your control with the bike that will absolutely make you be able to, that could absolutely hinder your ability to finish the race. But once you get to the run, it's kind of all on you. Like it's all on you. It's all on you for nutrition. It's all on you for how bad you want to hurt. Like it's all on you. So a lot of times, so it's kind of like a relief. My dad always says he's super relieved to see me off the bike because yeah, the bike can tons of stuff out of your control can go wrong. But when you're on the run, I did it. I made it to the run. Okay. This is my wheelhouse. This is where people will make or break. And I felt so good. The course was kind of empty because I was kind of out there, I think towards the front of the race at the beginning. At least it felt like it was very empty, the first lap. And I was feeling so good. I was like, oh my God, my legs are fine. I'm ready to run. A marathon doesn't seem far. It's far. And so I made it to like mile 15, kind of cruising. Everything felt good. Um, the way the Lake Placid course is set up is you get to see a lot of the people. You get to see a lot of people. So since I was sort of near the front of the race, I remember saying hi to Matt Hansen, to Leon Chevalier, Leon Chevalier. He's cool, very cool man. Fourth at this race. I just remember seeing a lot of people. I remember seeing Penny Slater. I said hi to her, and I remember it was just really cool because a lot of the pros were on their second loop, I think, or I was on my first. And then the second loop is even more amazing because you got all the people coming off. Anyways, so the first loop went great. At mile 13, I'm back in the town and I saw my parents. My dad screamed, "You're catching these people," meaning I'm catching people, which I was. I was catching people. I felt good. I felt so good. It was so fun. And then I went back out on my second loop. And this is kind of sad because it's like exactly where Ironman is supposed to you kind of make like everyone kind of expects that mile 15 is kind of where people fall apart. You're past the half marathon. You still have 9 miles 11 miles to go, which is a long way when you're that tired. And, I thought I was like, maybe just need some more caffeine, but out of nowhere, mile 16 kind of slowed down from I was doing like 7:15 pace, I think, and it went to 8:30. And then it went to 9 minutes and 30 seconds. Then I threw in a 12-minute mile there. And then I started going to where oh wow, this is getting really hard. I can't get my heart rate up. And one thing I noticed was I cannot get my heart rate up. It was stuck at 137 and it should be 155. I just couldn't get it up no matter what. My legs, no matter how fast I kind of pushed my legs, they just would not get my heart rate up. And it's a lot of little details for basically saying I was probably underfueled, and the last 12 or so miles were what we call a death march. It got really, really ugly. I was walking, then I tried to jog some, then I tried to walk some. I mean, I was walking at mile 25, 1 mile to go left. Like, you shouldn't be walking with 25 miles to go, or with 1 mile to go left of an Ironman. You just shouldn't be. And I was. And I will say around the mile 15 mark, when it started getting really dark, I was kind of already over this race. The bike hadn't gone great. The swim hadn't gone great. I was kind of like checked out and said, this is I started telling myself, this is a training race. Ironman Japan is where we're at. Ironman Japan is the one that I want to do well at. So, like, that's my next one, September 14th, Ironman Japan. We're going to take a lot of learning lessons from this one and throw it all in. All of August, I get to train for it. And then September 14th, I'm doing Ironman Japan. And I will have had the fitness absorbed from this one. I will have a new bike set up. And anyways, I did it. I got to the end of it. It got really ugly the last few miles. So ugly. And I hate it too, because like I know I'm like ruining it. Like, it's crazy because I like knew I was like, this sucks. Like, I'm ruining it, but it just doesn't suck enough it doesn't suck enough to where I wanted to keep pushing as hard as I thought I could. And I just was walking, and then I started talking to people. And once you kind of succumb to the walk slash jog slash walk, and then you kind of just go, it's really hard to break out of that. It's really hard to break out of that. But I did it. I finished. I got the Lake Placid medal, Ironman Lake Placid medal, with a lot of takeaways. I have a lot more fans than I thought, because the entire course, I heard my name, which was amazing. Oh, I love doing that. Like, the entire town was amazing. I also finished with no feet problems. My feet were fine. Feet felt amazing. I can't believe it. It's been a while since I've been able to finish without like a foot problem or half my skin hanging off, So that was amazing. I met some of the best volunteers. Shout out to Emily, this volunteer. She was amazing. I kind of got to hang out with, I wanted to shout out to Nicholas. He was amazing. We kind of biked the whole time together and sort of ran kind of the same, whenever you're doing these races, you kind of are going the same speed as a lot of like a few other people, and you're kind of with them the entire race. And so that was, and I don't know, it's kind of like we suffered out there together. So it was like we, went to battle together, and it's cool because like I know what they went through. We kind of he ended up beating me. A lot of people I started the run in front of beat me, because I really did not do that as smart as I thought it. I wasn't as smart as I thought I should, as smart as I thought I was. Like, I should have probably started out a little slower. I don't know. There's a lot of takeaways, and I think for me, I have to kind of do one to get back into it. Like, I learned a lot. And I got the medal. And that's one of 3 I'm hoping to do this year. I hope to do Ironman Japan, and I hope to do Ironman Arizona at the end of the year. So I think we're still good with that. Yeah. And so the big goal is Ironman Japan. But that's my Ironman Lake Placid recap. I want to shout out I tried to on the bike, especially since this bike is so slow, like going uphills. There's a lot of time when you pass people, you're not like flying by them, but you can actually like say like, hey, like, good job, keep it up. And I made it a note to say as many times as if I pass someone, I just wanted to say something, because it helped me too. I said, good job, keep it up. A lot of times I don't answer, but a lot of times you can truly see it helps them to say that. And it helped me too. It helps me more than anything to say, good job, keep it up. I love saying that. I don't know. It's something I would want to hear if I'm getting passed. And so I said it to a lot of people. And if you're one of the people I said that to, comment, say, hey, you said that to me. Because I did make it a point to say it a lot. All right, so that's the Lake Placid recap. Not much else to say. It's just a beautiful race. I wanted to, for my next little segment, I wanted to answer some of these questions. So I am a coach, Team Noel and Coco Coaching. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Team Noel and Coco Coaching. I'm Coach Noel. And I asked you guys in an Instagram post to comment some of your Like if I was your coach, what's the first thing you would ask me? And we got some great responses. And so I wanted to read a few of them. Okay. So, have you had a coach and did you follow what he gave you training wise? I've had multiple coaches. And when I am coached, I will say I do try my best to follow it. I've coached myself to Ironmans before and I've been coached to Ironmans. And I will say my best Ironmans that I've ever done is when I was coached. And when I wasn't self-coached, I didn't do great. Um, yeah. So I have had coaches. Matt Hansen was one of my coaches and John Fetchick, two of my main coaches. And yeah, these two definitely got me to a place I couldn't have gotten to by myself. How are you so amazing, Katie, finding balance? Thank you, Katie. Thank you. I don't know how to answer that one. You guys always making me schmitten. Isn't that the word schmidt? I'm schmitten. Or, oh shucks, I'm schmitten. Okay. Okay, next. How do I best use the little time I have available to train? Yeah, that's a really good question because a lot of people who want to do 99% of these people who want to do a triathlon, who want to do an Ironman, have a full-time job or have kids or something. And it really is like, can I even do this with how little time I have? And I do think that's a big reason why a coach might be helpful is because we can train you to get the most out of your little time. So like say you only have 10 hours to train a week. Well, you can make up what to do for those 10 hours or the coach can make sure you're utilizing that as best as possible. How you're going to do it. Uh like I want to make sure you get enough of each sport, but we're also working on your weaknesses. You can do it without a coach, but I think it's really beneficial when someone has such a short time frame to work out. I would almost say it's more important for that person to have a coach than it is for someone who has way more time, because with more time, you have a lot more room for mistakes or to not be doing as much because you can get as much to not be doing as like important of sessions because you have more time to get volume in. You can spend a lot more time on the bike. But yeah, I would say if you have a limited availability time to train, you need to really prioritize what are you doing for those 10 hours that you have this week and how is it going to make you a better athlete? How to get faster on the run? I guess more running. Well, yeah, 90% of the time, people who are asking me to get faster on the run aren't running enough because running is so hard. In terms of running is the one that takes the longest to develop, in my opinion, because it's so hard on your body. It's weight bearing. It's the only weight bearing one out of swimming, biking, and running. It's so hard on your joints. It's just hard. It's a hard, pounding the pavement is very hard, especially for 26.2 miles. And if you want to get faster at it, the more you have to do it. There's definitely ways to do this wrong. There's definitely ways to do it right. You have to build mileage slowly, but, a lot of times I see triathletes doing way too little of running because I guess their coaches think they're going to get injured or I don't know. But yeah, a typical week for a runner should be, if you are just a runner, there's 3 things you need to hit. Okay. You need to hit a track workout, a tempo workout, and a long run. Those are 3 big main sessions for running: tempo, track, long run every week consistently. That'll get you faster. And now you have to do, and also I would dare to say a double run day too. So a track workout, a tempo run, a double run day, and a long run. Those are big run day. Those are runs, very important runs for me that I can't miss. Can you coach me to help with cross country running? Thomas, yes, of course. I can coach runners, swimmers, bikers. And I'm a personal trainer as well. So yes, I can coach cross country. How do you structure your run training to stay strong in the back half of an Ironman? Very, very good question. Uh, yeah, because that's kind of what I just what I just said basically is like you are training these miles on top of miles are training your body to be uh, resilient. So to stay strong at the back half of an Ironman, where I fell apart, that comes from running. That comes from a lot of mileage. So I do my longest run before an Ironman will be 22 miles or 24. So almost a full marathon, but it will be under load. It will be off the back of a really hard day the day before, a really long day the day before. So the goal is to do these long runs after a big, like on Saturday, do a 5-hour ride with an 8-mile run. And the next day, do a 22-mile run. And that double, if you do that double like 4 times, because you're already super tired, you're depleted from the day before, and then you go out and do a long run, almost as long as the Ironman marathon, man, that gets you so strong. It's hard. It's very hard to get out the door for that second day. But you do that 4 times in a row, 4 weekends in a row, man, you'll be like, it's like money in the bank, man. You will like see a complete 180 of staying strong in that back half. And then also, I know this sounds cliche, but to stay strong for an Ironman and not break down, because in Ironman, my coach actually said this, John Fetchick, you will break down. The whole point of it is to fend off the breakdown as long as possible. Hopefully it doesn't happen hopefully it never happens, but it ultimately will happen. So even with 4 miles left, you might start breaking down, but you're still going to break down. So a lot of people neglect this, but I'm telling you, you need to do strength training, squats, deadlifts, like do strength training. That is a massive, massive part of being strong, like squat. That's a massive part of being able to stay strong in the back half of an Ironman. One of the really, really big questions I got was how do I start swimming if I was an adult swimmer, like an adult swimmer? Like if you're an adult swimmer, we call it adult onset swimming or something like that. It's a funny name for it, but swimming is one of the hardest. I hear a ton of people who say swimming, I would do a triathlon if it wasn't for the swimming. I would do a triathlon if it wasn't for open water swimming. You know, if I could swim, I could totally do a triathlon. And it's sad because it is like the biggest, I think swimming is the biggest deterrent with triathlon. And a lot of my questions were like, how do I even start swimming? It's very hard to start. One thing that's it's so cliche, but it's consistency. Day in, day out, consistency. Because one day it will click. But I do suggest, at least for the first few times in the water, or even at least just once, take one swimming lesson. They definitely have, like a lot of YMCAs have adult swimming lessons. Do an adult swimming lesson, maybe 2 or 3 times, and then start going to the pool and just start so simple. Go across the pool once. Can you make it across the pool once? Now try to go there and back. Can you make it across the pool there and back? Now try to do it twice. There, back, there, back. Now try to do it 3, and then take a break and do some kicking. It's a slow buildup, but all of a sudden, one day, your body will just be like, I understand this pattern. I understand it. My core is strong. And it just clicks. And it takes a while to click, but it does click. I'm telling you. But it's the hardest in terms of, it's so crazy. Swimming's crazy because like you can be like really slow and then just change like one thing, like how you're positioning your hand or something, or how you're positioning your body. And then you're like all of a sudden a minute faster. Like that's an extreme example, but you know what I mean? Like that's like all of a sudden out of nowhere, like just because you moved your hand a different way. That's what's crazy about swimming. And that is also really frustrating about swimming too. You can be the fittest person in the world. You can run 14-minute 5Ks. Like that's extremely fit, but then you can't swim at all. So it's not exactly about being fit. It's about the right technique. Here's another question. What equipment gear do I need to have? How do transition works? I love that. But there's a ton of like lists you can download, but right off the top of my head, out of nowhere, we're going to go through this. We're going to go through, okay, for the swim, wetsuit or swim skin, goggles, swim cap, Vaseline. Okay. And a tri-suit. For the bike, a helmet, nutrition, bottles, bike shoes, helmet. Okay. And then for the run, you need a run belt to put your number on, a triathlon run belt, run shoes, good socks. Good socks are so important. Good socks. Maybe some headwear, a sunglass, hat, something, and a little flask, a little like run flask to take on nutrition depending on the distance. And that's what you need. Oh, and a watch. And some technical stuff, maybe a bike computer, a Garmin watch, a heart rate strap. Those are not needed, but definitely helpful. How do I train to swim when I have never really swam competitively before? That's yeah, I really would love to hold my own swim training camp. Would you guys come to it? Would you come if I had a swim training camp? Where do I start? LOL. Want approachable goals, but also welcome the challenge. That's the thing. That's another thing with triathlon. It's so hard to like start. Like, where to even begin? It's so overwhelming. Like, it's 3 sports. You have to get a bike, a wetsuit. It's so overwhelming. Like, where do you even start? And I do think that's where a coach can help, because we can kind of tell you what you need and what you definitely don't need to start. I I think I think I think people can totally overdo it. I mean, there's so many gimmicks, like, this is the best wetsuit because it will shave 3 seconds off per one, like, and it's like, you don't need that. You just don't. Like, there's so much jibber jabber out there or whatever. And I think that's where a coach can help. How to start might be hiring a coach. And you don't have to have a coach either. There's tons of plans on there you can find. But I remember when I first started triathlon, I did it for like 3 years without a coach. And then I got a coach and I was like, oh my God, what have I been doing? I've been doing everything wrong. Like, nothing I've been doing made any sense whenever I started getting coached for real. Like, I was like, why was I not doing that? Why was I not doing this? These are workouts that I would have never even thought of. It pretty much changed everything. Shout out to Matt Hansen. He was the first one to do that for me. Can you help me get to sub 10? Yes, absolutely. I totally can get you to sub 10. In fact, projects like that where you have a goal, like, I want to do sub 10, that excites me. As a coach, that excites the crap out of me. So, yes, I can. These are all really good. These are all really amazing questions. I do want to say I might answer a few more of those on a later podcast, but I just want to kind of get this out there because I just wanted to get out. I just wanted to get out an episode and show that I'm still doing the podcast. We're still out. We're still here. And this has been another episode of Noodle On with Noel. Leave a rate and review if you're loving the podcast. Please leave a rate and review. We are totally back. Everything's back. We're so back. I'm going to do questions, and we're back to podcasting every day, every week, maybe twice a week. And anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode and my recap of Lake Placid. More to come, way more to come. But for now, yes, if you've been liking the episode, if you like my podcast, please rate, review. It helps so much. Like on the YouTube, subscribe, go on Spotify and follow it. Just do it, share. It helps so much to get this out there. So thank you all for your questions. I hope you enjoyed, and have a good afternoon. Welcome back, Needle Squad. We're back.